How do I do graduate school? A quick overview. First, you need to determine if you're likely to be accepted. Graduate programs want the best students, so a high undergraduate GPA above 3.0 is expected. An exceptional GRE score can help if GPA is weaker. Considerable relevant experience may help in some cases. Most accepted graduate students have a GPA of 3.5 and higher. If you want to go to graduate school, you need to graduate with a high GPA. Do not graduate until you have the GPA you need. You cannot go back and fix it after undergraduate graduation. Once you graduate, your GPA for undergraduate is fixed. Overall GPAs of 2.75 have an extremely low chance of getting into a respectable graduate program. 2.5 or below, same thing. You may have to pay a lot to get into a less reputable program. Some universities will allow students in with lower GPAs, but if they have lowered admission standards, that's a poor sign. They're probably going to charge a lot of tuition for you to be accepted, and you're going to owe a lot of money to have a degree that's not respectable. When you're looking for graduate programs, you need to identify the type of graduate program you want. What's the discipline? Is it counseling, clinical, social work, neuroscience, social developmental, forensic, cognitive, IO, personality, etc.? There are many, many more, but you need to identify what is of interest to you. Do you need a master's, an MA or an MS? Do you need a PhD or a PsyD? Depends on how far you want to go and on the discipline requirements. Some things are more applied versus research. So a PsyD is more applied compared to a PhD, which is more research oriented. If you want to call yourself doctor, you're going to need to have a PsyD or PhD, but many careers do not require this. If you want to be in a discipline that's more like a therapist, the minimum standard would typically be a master's of some kind, and then the attached licensure you would need to sit an exam for. If you are applying to PhDs or PsyDs, they will likely have higher admission standards than masters, although not always. PhD programs are typically 5 years, masters 2.5 to 3 or beyond. You can search on the APA website shown here for programs. You have to pay a fee. I recommend getting the 3-month plan, which is $19.99. That should be enough time to study all the programs you might need. You should probably plan on choosing at least 5 programs or more to give yourself a wide range of possibilities, including some that are long shots, some that are easy to get into, and some are just right for you, to make sure you get into at least one program. If you get into no programs you shoot for in a given period, you'll have to wait another year before you attempt to get accepted again. You need to look at the specific admission requirements for each program on this website or the individual websites of the program you're going to apply to. Please examine the program websites and follow the links they have there. They should show you somewhere admission requirements such as the minimum GPA to be accepted and perhaps the average requirement of being accepted. The minimum GRE, if required. GRE can now be taken online. It used to be the GRE was an in-person only exam, but because of the COVID pandemic, now you can take it online at gre.org. Is there any other special requirements the program you're applying to needs? You need to check this on the website. If you're not sure, please contact the program coordinator for the program you're applying to or the admissions office of that university. Note, nearly every graduate program is going to require at least 3 recommendations from major faculty, a statement of purpose or an essay that talks about why you're a good candidate for their program, filling out the application form, and your official transcripts from Western. The GRE required or not depends on the program. Some programs don't want it. Some programs waive it temporarily during the COVID pandemic. Typically speaking, counseling masters or social work masters don't require the GRE, but there may be exceptions. Clinical masters and other PhDs in research programs, experimental psychology, etc., often do require the GRE exam.